Hey everyone, so today we have Chanel. I've already done extensive videos on the Rivage quad, so I'm not going to talk too much about that today, although I am going to have some comparisons with the white shade that's in there to the highlighter. But today is the Coral quad. This is Coral Treasure. I already have it on my eyes. I have the highlighter on, I have the blush on, and I do have video of me putting all of this on my face, so don't worry, that's coming. But I first want to talk a little bit about the collection. The full collection has two quads, Rivage, which like I said I've done, Coral Treasure, then a blush, a highlighter, we've got a liner, we have Laque, yes, Seashell, and I forget what the other one is. There are two, I don't know if they're balms or, I don't know if they're cocoa balms or cocoa something else. I'll double check and make sure it's down below. And then we have nail polishes. So when I first did the review of Rivage, it was very early on over on my Patreon page because I got it before it was actually released. And I love that quad. I think it's actually really beautiful. And I've done a subsequent video that gives you an update on using it and my thoughts on having used it for a couple of months. That is my favorite. The Coral Treasure I picked up because I felt like it was important for me to compare and contrast the two quads that are in the collection. This one, compared to the Rivage, I feel is not as interesting. It's not as unique. It's not just that I don't like the color story, which I don't because it's not really my color story, but I also feel like it's just not as, it's not as unique. It's not as interesting as the Rivage is. So if I were going to choose out of the two, I'd pick the Rivage. And I feel like a lot of people agree with me on that one because the Rivage sold out pretty quickly. I would also say, and I mentioned this in my last video, blues tend to sell out pretty fast for Chanel because they don't do them that often. The eyeliner sold out, the blue liner, blue nail polish sold out online. They are back in stores or in stores for the first time. So my SA here in Chanel in Boston let me know that she did have them in stock, and I did post that on Instagram. I'm going to assume a lot of other boutiques got it at the same time. That indicates to me that there were like two different trenches, online first, then in boutiques. I think we will see it back online, at least hopefully. As I said, it's really hard to gauge these days how much product is out there, how much is made, limited edition items, and the blues, for whatever reason for Chanel, this happened when I worked for them 30 years ago. Yeah, almost 30 years ago now. The blues always have been very limited in the Chanel collections, and then they get rid of them and then they're just gone. So I was not surprised that the liner especially was gone quickly. So, you know, again, if you see them online, and you want them, I would definitely buy them quickly. I would not wait. They're certainly not going to go on sale. And if you find them at an SA and you have an account with Chanel, you can just order them that way. So let's just put that to rest. This quad, the Coral Treasure, I think it's very light, first of all. And I don't mean light like in color. I think it's just a very light color story, but it's also just lightly pigmented. The pink in here is my favorite shade. I'll show you how I got this look in just a second. The pink in here is my favorite shade. I really do like this. It's, you know, it's a very light Barbie pink, shimmery shade. I think it's very nice on the eye. You'll see when I do the look that really the best way to put it on is with your finger or with a Kolinsky brush. If you use a soft brush, you're not going to get much from it. The other shades in here are peach shades. They're nice. They're not my color story, but they're nice, but they're not anything really unique. And then the deep pink shade is a deep pink. The highlighter is on my face now. It's on my cheeks and here on the bridge of my nose because I wanted you to be able to see it. If you catch the light, and I do have natural light coming in, but it's extremely dreary here today. It's opalescent with a bluish undertone. So it's one of those things that you'll either really like it and it will be something that, you know, really appeals to you, or you'll hate it because it's opalescent and it has a bluish undertone. Like if it's not something you like, it's just not going to be for you. I actually do think it's very pretty. It's not my favorite highlighter. I tend to like highlighters to have a little bit more pink. This is a little bit, like I said, different because it's got that opalescent kind of shift to it, but I do think it's pretty. The blush is the Power Blush Duo, and the shades in here, if I can grab it, look like this. And I'm going to do comparisons for all these guys in a second, but I just want you to see the actual component, and I'll show you the highlighter as well. you probably, when you're looking at this, if you've bought Chanel for a couple of years, you know what I'm gonna compare it to. And then here's the highlighter. And you can even see in the highlighter itself, when you're just looking at it in the pan, that there's a shift, like a bluish shift underneath it, which with the Rivage I think is quite nice. With the coral, I don't know, I don't like it as much because I feel like the shades don't mesh as much. We'll get to that. On my lips is the Laque, and I bought this in Seashell because I did get to see this in the store and I knew I would like this one. This is a Ultra Wear Shine Liquid Lip Color. It is not a matte, long wear, non-transfer proof kind of lip. It's just, it is a longer wear, ultra wear, liquid shiny lip. It's not as shiny as like a Lip Chic or a Cocoa Balm or anything like that, but it wears longer than that would. And it's not like the Ultra Tenues that you wear that have the double ends that you can wear through anything. It's an in-between product. At the beginning, I didn't really like these, but now I really do. And like I said, this is Seashell, but I want to show you, I put this on my hand. When I put it on my lips, you can see it does transfer. So this is not a transfer-proof product. It just wears longer than another type of shiny lipstick. But it comes like this with a doe foot applicator. And like I said, Seashell, I really like the shade. I think it's a great shade for me. It's kind of a rosewood, very pretty, everyday kind of shade, something that I would wear. So let's go get into the application of all this makeup. Let's start with the highlighter. By the way, while you're watching me put this on, I do have on the La Beige's Touch Foundation in B10, which is the neutral one. I wear B10 or B12, depending on if I want a cooler look or more of a neutral. The highlighter, as you can see, as I put it on my cheeks and on my nose, I used a very soft brush. This is a brush that's not going to pick up as much product. If you want something that's going to bring out more of the opalescence, more of the blue-green shift to it, I would suggest using a denser brush. I did not want that, so I went with a very soft brush, but I think you can definitely pick up more of it depending on what kind of brushes you use. Then the blush, I took the sort of orange shade and used that on the top of the cheeks and into the hairline to get more of that lifted look. That's the lighter shade and the peachier shade of the two. I feel like that is almost like a highlighter on top of the highlighter. So it gives a little bit of depth to the look. And then I took the pinker shade and used that as something that's more traditional blush placement. I also used it across the bridge of my nose. That particular shade I think is a nice pink. I don't think it's that, again, I don't think it's that revolutionary or anything, but I think it's a nice pink shade. I did not use any type of bronzer because I wanted you to be able to see the blush and the highlighter on my face without bronzer. The minute I put bronzer on my face, it does really change things because I am so pale that a bronzer will definitely impact a blush and a highlighter. All right, so let's go to the eyeshadow. So I start with the very light peach shade, and that shade is actually really nice. If peach is something, or like an orangey peach is something that you like, those are your colors, this one is actually, like I said, very nice. It's just, it's light. It's not, again, this is, you know, spring, summer type of look, so I get that. But I feel like, again, it's a price point thing. I think if you're gonna spend this type of money for products, I think there should be something very unique and very special about them. But I think the formula is good. I think it goes on nicely and it blended out well. I took the deeper orange shade and just did the outer edge of that crease. I just kept it deeper on the outer edge. I did not run it all the way through the crease toward the inside corner of my eye because I wanted that just to be very light and very pink. So you could see the best, if you will, of the shades, that light pink shade all over the eye. When I first put that light pink shade on, I did go in with the Sonia G brushes, and I'll talk about those because I do have the Sonia G brushes here. And those are brushes that are soft, and you can see that I used them for the other shades and it was fine. But for that shade, if you really want it to be impactful, if you really want to see the luminescence of that shade, you are going to have to use your finger or a different type of brush. A very soft brush is not going to give you the impact of that shade. Now you can still use it. It looks pretty, but it's very light. light in pigment, light in coverage. So if you want to use it like just an all over shade on your eye, I would suggest your finger or a denser brush. You could use it over other shades, but if you use it just on skin and you have like veins in your eyelids like I do, they're going to show through that because it's very sheer. Then I took the pink, again using Sonia G brush, and used it as like a lash liner on the top line, just on the outer corner, and then did a little bit of a V on the outer corner. I did not use a liner on my eyes today at all because I want to show you the blue liner, and I am going to use the blue liner today so you can see it with this look. It's going to look a little odd, but I want you to see it. That blue liner though is going to look amazing with the Rivage. I do believe that Chanel has another liner with this collection, but it's a liner that already exists. I think it's, I'll be honest, I don't really remember, but if I can figure it out, I'll put it down below because I do think there's another liner. It's just a re-promote. It's not a new shade. So then the Seashell lipstick, or I should say lip lac that I put on last, I do have some moisturizer on my lips. I always do when I do these videos because my lips are extremely dry and they will look very chapped if I do not. So you can see exactly what that looks like on my lips. And of course I have it on now, but that product it's not a new product. I really do like the way it works, but you know, again, it's that in-between product, I think, of the Ultra New and then a balm kind of product. Okay, we're back. And by the way, I know you can tell because I can hear it. I'm still sick, but I'm a lot better than I was, but my voice is not quite where it normally is. So I apologize for that. All right, so the quad. Let's just talk about it in regards to Rivage. Like I said, if I were gonna buy from this collection, I would buy the Rivage. It's pretty clear. But I would also say that, and people have noted it, the shades in Rivage are not that unique other than the baby blue. And the baby blue is not a unique shade, it does exist. It's just that the way that most makeup is released, there's not usually a baby blue shade. And a lot of people don't wear baby blue, but it is absolutely wearable. And I think I did a look that seemed pretty wearable both times. This white shade that we're gonna compare to the highlighter and to the oversized highlighter that I bought earlier, I think is actually very pretty, but as I've said, there is fallout for that. This one, the pink, I didn't get fallout. This one is more, I don't want to say glittery, but this one is more piecey. The pink one is more luminescent. And then the other shades in Rivage, the browns and here in the peaches, neither one of them is a particularly unique shade, but the formula is done well, and I think it does mix well with the other shades. All right, so that is the quad. And like I said, I think anybody who's watched me for a while would have known that was not going to be my favorite of the two, that Rivage was going to be the favorite. But it's not like I don't like it. I think it's well done. If that's really your color story and you like pinks and peaches, then fine. All right, highlighter. So let's take a look at this highlighter. And the name of it's our name. Illuminating powder. I think it's like something ocean. Please hold. Lumière de l'Ocean. Somewhat close to this? Probably not. Okay, so that indicates, and all of this is like an ocean. It's not surprising that it would have an opalescence, a blue. That makes sense given the name. So let's swatch it here. And I'll build it up a little bit so you can see it better. Yeah, it's definitely piecey. And when I say piecey, I think you know what I mean. It looks like there's like almost pieces of glitter. They don't fall out or anything, but it looks like that on the skin. And there's like bluish and green and then a little bit of pink. Hopefully you can see that, or at least somewhat see that. Now I'll take the white shade from the Rivage, which is this one here, and put that next to it. It definitely feels different. It feels grittier in the pan. It does have a similar look. Again, is piecey, but if you notice, it falls out more. There's more fallout from the one in the quad. This one is definitely warmer. Can you see that? It has almost more of a platinum gold. So they are not at all. The look is similar in the sense that it has like almost like pieces of glitter. That's how it looks. But this is much more opalescent and blue, and this is much more almost like it's like a warm gold. It's interesting. It almost has this brown in it and like these shades in a white tone to counteract the baby blue, which is interesting. All right, now let's look at that next to the oversized. Now I didn't buy any of the other oversized. There was peach, I don't remember. There was a bunch of them and I did not get them, but I did get the pearly white oversized. And this was the one that was the most glittery, I guess. The others supposedly were more luminescent and not as PC, but I was just trying to, I was like, you know what? I don't need any more. So much. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to get them. This has a similar look in the sense that it's got that sort of PC feel to it, but it is a very different shade. It's even warmer than the one in Rivage. It's more luminescent than this one. It's less PC. And yeah, it has more of a gold, almost whitish gold. You can see it on my hand now. This looks blue. This looks pink-ish. And this looks pretty neutral white, maybe a little gold leaning. So hopefully that's helpful when you decide if you want to pick up this new highlighter. It definitely has a blue shift to it. It is definitely opalescent in nature. Last, the blush. So here's the blush, the new one. And again, on the packaging, it says roses, oh geez, coquillage. I know it's C-O-Q-U-I-A-G-E. I have enough sense to know now that L's are not pronounced as L's and Q is like not a Q, but I still am not great at actually pronouncing it. Coquillage is as close as I'm gonna get. I'm not good. It's not that I don't try. I don't have the, it's like people who can't do math. There are some things that your brain just does not wrap itself around. And I have difficulty with languages. Like I'm not, numbers I'm great at. Give me numbers and ask me to add things in my head. That's fantastic. Ask me to speak another language and I do not have that skill. So this is the Printemps that I immediately thought of when I looked at this. Now it is the same structure, except this has the black piece in the middle. I would also say this is called a highlighting blush duo, and this is called a blush duo, powder blush. This is blush and highlighter, and this is just blush. And when you look at it, you can see that because this side is definitely like a different texture. I'm gonna put this on my hand. I think we're gonna see though that there are similarities to the coral part of it, but I honestly think that the shades in here, this is the Printemps, there's the highlighter. You can see it's definitely more of a highlighter, and there's the blush. I think when we do this one, and I'm gonna put it like right underneath, I think you're gonna see that the shades are not at all the same. It's just that the design is the same, but the rest of it. So there's the peach that's in the new one. That is similar, but this is still even pinker. And it's definitely different than the highlighting shade. And then the pink side is very different from the highlighting shade in the other one. I have to tell you though, I think this formula is good in here, but I don't like it as much. I don't like it as much as like the older ones. Anyway, this is the pink. This is the new one. Here's the old one. I like the, if both existed now, I'd buy the Printemps because the formula is better. I like the fact there's a highlighter and a blush. And these two shades, although they are pretty, like I said, they're nice, I don't really think they're that unique. And I don't think the formula in Chanel's blushes are nearly as good as they used to be. The one exception to that is the Chanel special edition blush that came out that I cannot think of the name of right now. That was pink and luminescent. I hate it when my brain shuts down like that. That's what I'm talking about, that you can't get. One I think it was extremely good, and I really liked the formula in that. Pretty much every other blush that Chanel has come out with since they reformulated, I don't know, they're more powdery, they're not as creamy as they used to be. And of course, the original blushes that Chanel had, and I do have quite a few of them, had a perfume. They had a very different texture. And don't get me wrong, guys, I suffer from migraines. I get it for people who don't want a perfume in their makeup. I understand. I personally loved that scent. It has good memories for me, so maybe that's why. I wouldn't have had a problem with them taking out the scent. I completely understand that. I don't understand why taking out the scent, though, would have to change the formula. I feel like they could have taken out the scent and still had a really great formula. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like ever since then, Chanel blushes have been okay. Not my favorite. Again, just me, but that's where I'm at. So before we move off the collection, I want to talk about the Sonia G brushes, and I want to talk about something else that's Chanel. So the nail polish. This is the Rivage. I did not pick up the, I think there's like a peach shade, which would go, of course, with the Coral Treasure, or maybe I guess it's Coral. I have been getting my nails done lately, so I can't put it on my nail. I could, but I'd ruin my nails. This is the Rivage, though, and I love this shade. So this is going to be my next pedicure shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a periwinkle sea blue. It has a lot of luminosity to it. If you're nail polish lover, you love blues, I would absolutely recommend this one. It's Lagune or Lagune. It's got an E on the end, so not exactly sure, but I would say that it's a beautiful blue and absolutely worth picking up if you are somebody who likes to buy nail polish, if you're somebody who just likes blue. The thing about the Chanels, and I've said this multiple times, is that the blues are limited edition. They sell out and then they don't bring them back, and I don't have any good reason why. I don't really know. Okay, so the liner. Now this is Blue Abysse. I am going to put it on my eyes for you because you should see it on my eyes. It's going to look weird with this color story. It's not going to look right. So I'm going to put it on the inner waterline here. The waterline, I guess I should say, not the inner waterline. As far as I know, there's not an inner waterline. It's a matte shade. It is similar to the nail polish. I'll pull my hair back a little bit so you can see it. My hair is freshly washed, so it's very voluminous. Sorry about that. That's the blue. I love this blue, and I'm going to show it to you next to the other blue liners like I promised. It's bright in the sense that it's not an electric blue. It has a little bit of purple. Personally think it's worth getting a backup of this one because once it's gone, that's just me. Okay, this is Blue Metal. Put it next to it. This is Blue Carbone, Intense Teal, Marine, True Blue, and the one that I think is most like it is Fervent Blue, which I'll put next to it, which is what I wore in the video with Rivage. As you can see, this is Fervent Blue. This is the new one, Blue Abysse. So it is the closest in color, but it's still incredibly different. Plus Fervent Blue has like a luminosity, a shine to it, where this is a matte. I think you can tell though, it's a really unique shade because it has like a purple blue, which is hard to find. Yeah, I think it's stunning. Again, if you're somebody who likes blue liner, which I obviously do, if you like that shade and you like this formula from Chanel, I would not wait to pick up the liners because I just feel like, in my experience, they sell out and they don't bring them back. Like they don't reintroduce them. So this is not like the other things that they have where you're like, oh, it's limited edition. And then they tell you they're not going to have it again. And then it comes back 3 months later. I have never seen them do it for the liners. I've seen them do it for other things, but and the reason I'm saying that, there's a color that I've wanted for a long time that I used to use all the time when I was a makeup artist with them almost 30 years ago. And it's a blue, and it's a very light, it's a weird, like this, the True Blue, but it's lighter. It's like this, it's almost like the baby blue, and it has some sparkle to it. I can't remember, I wish I could remember the name of it. But anyway, I've never seen it again. I had 2 of them, I went through them, and that was it. And I've never seen it again. They just don't. They re-promote a lot of things, and they've re-promoted liners, but that particular shade, because I think because it's blue, I don't know, something about the blue. And again, purple, which I've mentioned, which they don't really seem to do. Yeah, if you like the liner, if you like the blue liner, if you like that formula, I would just buy it because I don't think it's going to be around. The brushes. So these are the Sonia G brushes, and they came, and I did have this in the video. This is the box that Sonia G has. Really well packaged, really beautiful. I do love that they come like that. I think her special editions are very nicely done. I'm gonna look on Beautylish right now and just see. This is the Tradition Series Select 2024. I don't know if they're sold out. Let's look. No, they seem to still be there. Add to bag. Yeah, looks like it's still there. Okay. Handcrafted in Kumano, Japan. And I've got the box. It's a Polonia box with the elastic ribbon and tassel. So that's how you can store them. The Traditions TS4, which is this one, which is what I use in my crease. This is yellow Canadian. You can see. So it's definitely a softer brush. The Traditions TS3, which is this one, I also used in the crease and a blender. This is white Canadian squirrel and white Seikoho goat, which is sort of the mid-level. It makes it a little denser, it picks up more product. How's that? And then the laydown brush, which is this one. This is white Seikoho goat and blue squirrel. So this is definitely softer, but the goat, again, makes it pick up a little bit more. And then the TS1, which is the smudger brush, which I can use as like liner here and smudge it out like that. This is white Canadian and white Seikoho goat. So again, they all have a mix except for I'm just making sure I have the number right. The Traditions TS4, which is, I believe, this one, yes. And this one is the yellow Canadian. So what that basically means is these are a little bit denser. They can pick up more product, but they're still soft enough to use on sensitive skin like mine. Whereas this one is going to be a softer feel, and you can feel it when you feel them. They all feel soft, but they have a little bit more almost like bounce, depending on how you think about it. The really soft brushes that I have, and I use them on my face today, like these are incredibly soft, and I really like the way they apply product, but you're going to get an ethereal soft look with them. You're not going to get you're not going to pick up a ton of product, but enough product for me. If you want something that's, going to pick up a ton of product, go with the Kolinsky or the Seikohos. They will pick up more. And then there's other ones like synthetics that can pick up depending on how they're made. And I have a brush video if you want to go check that out. Okay, so one more thing from Chanel before we go. This is the Chanel new Velvet lipsticks. And this is the set. This is a limited edition set, which comes like this. There's also a 4 lipstick set. And of course the limited edition packaging with the white. In this limited edition set, there are 2 shades. Now this particular collection is time on a clock. So there's 0000, 0100, 0200, etc. to 07. This is 02 to 0000 and 0600. So 6 o'clock and 0 o'clock. These are pop tops, pop like that. This is 00, which is like a reddish shade, really pretty red. And then this one is 06, which I don't know if it's my favorite shade, but it's like a deeper rosewood. There's a shade that I think it's, I'll look at it in a second. I think it's 4 that has more of a brown. So this is 0000, 0600, 0 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And I'll pull it up really quick so we can take a look. Okay, so the product, the description is long-wearing lipstick, 8 new shades, limited edition black and white, packaging, they call it a click case. I call it pop-up. Minimalistic facade with contrasting trim transforms the timeless vessel into an object of desire. I don't know about that, but I do like the packaging. Highly concentrated pigments, even long-lasting results, soft focus micropheres, combined with an ultrafine pearlescent particles for a luminous matte finish. I don't like luminous matte. It just feels to me like it's satin. But anyway, or we come up with some other name, create a new one. I don't know. Just luminous matte just seems so wrong. 0 is a sienna red. I don't know if that's sienna. Okay. They call it a sienna red. 01 is a brick orange. 02 is an orange red. 03 is a vibrant fuchsia. 04 is a warm brown, agreed. 05 is a purple. 06 is a burnished rosewood, so burnished rosewood. And 07 is a fresh pink. I personally think I would get the 01, which is a brick orange, because I like a brick orange. And then 04, which is a warm brown. Those are the two I'm interested in. 07, the pink, it's very light pink. I could definitely wear it, but again, I technically still on my low buy, but Chanel is excluded from that. Chanel, Dior, Tom Ford are excluded from my low buy because I know you guys definitely want to see all of that. So I'm in between about what I want to do there on those, but we're going to try the formula out and then I'll let you know. But I have to say they do feel pretty comfortable. I have worn them on my lips just to try them. One thing that I want to mention is that liners to wear with these. Now, with this type of formula, maybe a liner isn't as necessary, but I want to mention a few suggestions. And don't worry, I'm going to have more on the Allure Velvets, but since this was mostly about spring collection, I wanted to concentrate on it. You can see my hair is just like, nope, we're going this way. Like, it's just, when I freshly wash it, it's huge. Okay, so what I want to do is show you some of the liners that I think might work with these two shades. I would also say to you, and I mentioned this, that Nude Brune is no longer Nude Brune. It's a little bit different. So here's the original Nude Brune, which I think works with everything, but I just want to show you. Let's do it this way. That's Nude Brune, the old one, which is of course my favorite. And this Nude Brune is the new one. Let's do it this way. So can you see the difference in those two shades? So the new one is pinker. So I would say Nude Brune, let's put it here. With those two shades, I don't love it with this. I think it would look good with the 06. It's gonna brown it up a little bit, but I think that would work. So the new Nude Brune would work fine. The old Nude Brune, it's too brown. This shade, Pivone, or Pivone, is what I would recommend for the 06. It's not identical, but it's very close. I think you can see that. Of course, with this shade, it's not my favorite choice, but I think the Pivone is an excellent choice for that. And then for the red shade, there's a couple things you can do. You can do the Nude Brune if you want to like brown it out, or you could go deeper. This is Brune Carmine, no, Carmine, I know it's Carmine, but yeah, it's Brune Carmine. Okay, I'm right. You can go a deeper shade like this and get it a little bit more purple, a little bit deeper in shade if that's something that you like. Or you can do, this is the Rouge Noir. So this is gonna have, and this would also go with this shade here, with the 06. This has a little bit more brown reddish. So you could do that, but I think it goes better with this one, with the 06. And then the other shade that I would recommend is the Rose Natural for the red. And here's why. I'll put it here. This shade, this Rose Natural shade, you could use for either one of these shades. Because yes, it has a little bit more brown in it, but it would work with this and it would work with this because it's not that different from a lot of people's skin tone. If you look at it, it's just a good rosy brown. So you can wear it with a red, you can wear it with a burnished rosewood as they called it. This is a good shade. What I would tell you though, if you're somebody who wants to match, and I'm not usually like that, I usually like to mix my colors, I would say with the 06, it's either the Pivone or the, I just forgot the name of it, Rouge Noir. I think those two shades work really well with this. This one, the 01, I don't have one that I would say is a perfect match. I think the Rose Natural is the best of the Chanel liners that I have that would go with this, because again, it's just gonna be like that natural almost outline of your lips. And then the red, I don't have a red liner from Chanel. I have a red liner from other brands, but not from Chanel. So this is, technically the Brune is technically, I guess, a red, but it's almost like, Brune Carmine is, it's almost like a purpley red. I really like this one with the light, it's a long story, but I like it with a really light pink. But the point is, I don't really think it goes with the 01. So I would say the Rose Natural is the best for the 01 of the ones that I have. I do have, like I said, two liners that I think work perfectly with the 06. I also think the Brune Natural will probably work with either one, because I do think it's a rosy brown. It's a Brune Natural, so it's got the, quote, natural shade to it. I think that would work for either one. But again, I don't think there's an exact match for the 01, at least in my collection. If you're somebody who likes to exactly match, then I don't have that. I do like the formula of the Rouge Allure Velvets. I have worn them. I do think they're comfortable. I have to spend more time with them and then do a video with them and different liners. I am thinking about picking up the other shades. Let me know if that's something that you also want to see. So it'll help tip the scales, if you will, in one direction or another. But for me, there's a lot of lipsticks coming out now. There's the Westman Atelier, which I am going to get one. And then there's a reason I'm only going to get one, but I'm going to get one so I can compare it to like the Pradas and stuff. But velvets and mattes and soft mattes are like popular right now. That's not my favorite formula, what we're seeing. The Tom Fords that I did the video on, I've heard a lot of comments from, and I'm not going to disagree with anything anyone said. I said it in my video. It's 0.03 ounces. But I love the finish on those. Like the finish on those I think is absolutely stunning, and that's the kind of finish that I like. This finish is not my favorite. It's not bad, but it's not my favorite. That's why I'm going back and forth about whether I should pick up 2 more shades, because how often will I wear them? So that's why I need to wear them a little bit more throughout the week and just see how much I like them as I continue to wear them. All right, guys, that's all Chanel. This is probably gonna be a very long video. I'll make sure there's lots of timestamps. Let me know what you picked up. If you're thinking of picking anything up, what your thoughts are. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.